Hey, are you a defensive back struggling to play zone and you're tired of getting cussed out by your coaches and put on the sidelines? Well, I've got the video for you today. Today, we're going to learn how to correct your zone coverage on DB Tip Clips. All right, zone coverage is a necessary thing. You got to be able to mix up man and zone coverages, and we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into it, you guys really absolutely have to check out my new ebook, 101 DB Tips. It is absolutely helping people from coast to coast at all levels. The feedback has been great. If you don't have a copy, you need to get one for yourself right now. How to cover in zone, how to cover in man, tips on training, as well as footwork, everything you need in there. I'll have a link to it down in the description below, and also check out my All Eyes DB Camp members area. Over 200 videos on coverages explained, coverage tips, techniques, just about everything that you're going to need to raise your game to the ultimate level. But let's get into the matter at hand today. Ask most cornerbacks that you run into, and they'll tell you that they prefer to play man coverage over zone coverage. There are a number of reasons for this. One is because they think it will show their worth at the position. Second, because zones can be confusing and require a little more discipline than man coverage. Intelligent corners don't think this way, as they know that zone coverage is necessary and can provide a pretty big payoff for guys that know how to run it. When you're young, like in Little League or high school, and you're athletic, there's temptation for coaches to just have you do what's best at the moment, and that is use your athletic superiority to dominate the opponent by playing man coverage. What gets lost sometimes on coaches at that level is the part of their game that is to teach the young athlete the game. Unfortunately, the desire, and for some, the pressure to win, will lead them to do only what is necessary to win the game and not so much what is best for the long-term development of the player. As a result of what I just described, the young player grows into a mature player that struggles with the intricacies of playing zone coverage. The biggest issue out of understanding zone coverage is having the discipline to play it and cover your zone. When offenses are plotting on the secondary members by running routes in front of them or taking a player that's in one zone and running him off to another, being where you're supposed to be can become a big problem. Athletes who struggle in zone usually have one or two major things happening to them. One, they totally don't understand the coverage, or they don't understand what the offense is doing to them. To be more effective in man coverage, you have to be willing to play zone. However, a coach is not going to be willing to run zone if his players are not disciplined. The first thing you have to understand when playing zone coverage is that you're now covering with your mouth. Whereas man coverage is all about your feet and your hands, zone coverage forces communication into the equation, and it does so in a big way. When a player leaves your zone, you must resist that man tendency, which is to chase, and instead activate your zone intelligence, which involves you telling your teammate that a route is coming. Learning to communicate is a big way to excel at zone coverage. The next thing you have to do is totally understand the zone coverage. Of course, you're going to know what your job is, or I assume the coach won't even have you out there. However, understanding who has the surrounding zones will prevent you from being tempted to move into a zone that's not yours. Understanding that the linebacker has a flat when you have the deep 1/3 will make you less likely to jump a route in that flat. Instead, you'll just call out the route to the linebacker and let him know that a player has entered his flat area. Finally, knowing what the offense is trying to do will allow you to plan ahead as the routes unfold. Being able to plan ahead gives you the anticipation you need to remain in your zone. Knowing that a team, for instance, likes to run a seam route by the slot wide receiver when the outside receiver runs a dig will keep you from chasing the dig when you should be helping on the seam. Knowing that the route combo is coming will do wonders to keep you out of a zone belonging to someone else and in the zone that you're supposed to patrol. If you're struggling with your zone coverage, try taking care of these three things that I described in this video. Before that though, identify why it is that you may be struggling to play zone coverage in the first place. Knowing these things will really help you in getting the problem corrected. And that's it. For you guys that love man coverage out there, continue to love it. But I hope this video has helped you that you also need to fall in love with zone as well. It does give you the opportunity to see the routes happening in front of you, as well as get an eye on the quarterback and see that ball thrown. More opportunities for interception. So love man, love zone, and use your IQ to play this game because you'll make a heck of a lot more plays. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like the video, share the video, and of course, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I got got a great amount of DB content here for you to help you get better at your game. But if you want to reach the elite level, remember two things. I have that 101 DB Tips ebook, everything in there from how to play zone, how to play man, how to train, technique, footwork, workouts, all and everything in there. And also the All Eyes DB Camp members area, over 200 videos showing and demonstrating things like coverage techniques, explaining coverages, drills, tips, footwork, just about everything else that you'll need to reach your game to the elite level. And if you combine those two things, there's no way you can't be good. And finally, on your way out, man, check out the All Eyes DB Camp shop. I got bags just like this one behind me, as well as long sleeve shirts, zip ups, duffel bags, everything. I got all kind of stuff in there. Check that out. I'll have a link to that down in the description as well. Listen, guys, everything that you need to become the best defensive back that you can be right here at All Eyes DB Camp, and I'm here to help you find that. All right, as always, All Eyes DB Camp, consistency breeds results.